Welcome to Why They Play the Game, a show created to discuss the NBA on and off the court. I am just one of your co-hosts, Michael Eric Owens.
And I'm Ken Hayes.
Hey, my brother, how you doing?
Good. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing all right, brother. I was my day was going good, man, but then I heard Coach Terry Stotts, man, he resigned today.
Yeah, they announced it at around 5 o'clock locally here. They didn't give a reason. I'm just assuming. So I'm going to assume maybe some personal maybe issues that he's having or issues. So from what I can tell, just a little insight. He was looking forward to being assistant coach for the Bucks coming back to Milwaukee. So
Mm-hmm.
I hope everything is all right with them, him and his family. So we just have to wait and see, you know, what he's going to do as far as his career is concerned. Good guy. I mean, coach was head coach for Milwaukee for a while, then head coach for Portland. So he's been around for a while and assistant coach under George Karl. So it's just a matter, like I said, don't hold me to anything. I'm just thinking it's just something personal, maybe some family issues or complications or things like that. But wish him well. Wish he could have stayed. So
Yeah, it is a little shocking because when you think about the relationship that he had with Damien, you know, but I did listen to a couple of press conferences today, Ken, and so Dame talked about it. He said
right,
that Terry called him and they discussed, and he wished him the best. Doc Griff said, you need to ask Terry. He said it was, it was a shock to all of them.
right.
But he said he was a great guy, spoke very highly of him. And also I heard Chris Middleton talk a little bit about it and said, it was first time in his career this something like this has happened. But things happen, man, in everyday
Right.
life. And we don't know what the ins and the outs of that. But like you said, Ken, great guy. Wish him, the best of luck in everything that he's trying to do and whatever we all have to make these decisions.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say is that he's been in the league or around the league. I'll put it that way for some years. So has a great reputation. So this came out of the blue, and I just think that unfortunately for the Bucks, because I know he was going to be, let's just say, uh, his a top assistant or assistant coach. We'll put it that way. I know they have a lot of assistant coaches, but I think that also the transition, Dame coming to Milwaukee, that was huge. Terry being, part of the organization. So we'll see what happens.
Well, folks, I tell you what, while you sitting there watching us or listening to us, please hit that like button, that
Right.
subscribe button, and that notification button. Three easy things to do, just like ABC, right? Wasn't it the Jackson Fives,
Right.
ABC, back in the
Right.
day? Go ahead and hit that so you can get all of our content. Because I got my man Ken here, and we're gonna go into the James Harden.
Oh
Day
man.
2, he did not show up for practice, man. He said he was going to play Friday. He didn't. Man, what what should Philadelphia do?
Philadelphia. I can't say that he should, just trade him to trade him, but they got to unload him some way somehow and get something out of it. It's almost like a soap opera over there in Philly. And I'm sure the other players are like, man, what is up with this dude? And it's just like, to me, it's just being selfish to the 10th degree as far as what he's doing. And I mean, he's done this before, so it's no surprise. And the thing about him, Mike, is that, I mean, Philly is in contention as far as the East is concerned. And I don't understand why you wouldn't want to play with last year's MVP. I don't get that. I mean, they got a nice squad,
Yeah,
and
they do.
we talked about him last week, but man, it's like I said, man, this soap opera is going to continue. I just think he's just trying to work his way over to the Clippers, in which we'll talk about them a little later in the show. But man,
Exactly. Yeah. Can I? Oh man. You know what? I can understand if he's got problems with, Daryl Morey. Okay. I can, you're at you're you're on a team and you got problems with the ownership. Okay. But man, shouldn't there be some loyalty to your teammates? I mean, shouldn't that consider like in the equation when you're talking about whether you're going to stay or go? Doesn't that cross your, or is it just all about James Harden?
it's all about James Harden. You
Man,
know
that's
that
just
that old super. I don't know if it's old, but as the world turns, is as James turns. This it
I'm
just
just
it continues.
man, I'm like them boys over there trying to win a championship, man. You playing with the MVP and you got a good squad. You got Tyrese, I mean, I just I just don't understand it. How would okay, Ken, this is my question. How would any other team want him given all of this?
They would want the talent, but not the personality. That's the thing.
Can you get one without the other?
No, not at all. And I've seen in reports that the Clippers want to make this deal, but it's kind of like a coin flip with them because what are they going to have to give up to get James, and what's going to happen when he gets there? In a year or two, is he going to want to leave LA to go, let's just say, go back to Houston? Or, so it's, don't get me wrong, and we'll talk about the Clippers later. But the thing about it, Mike, is that they need a third, let's just say a big out of their big three, a third person.
Yeah,
I
they do.
mean,
They do.
but
Yeah.
I know we're getting to other stuff, but as far as James Harden is concerned, I mean, I would, if I was a general manager, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go down that rabbit hole because
Mm,
it's going to cost me too much. And I'm not talking about money. It's just the issues and the personality that you're gonna bring. And are you gonna, are we gonna play at 100% or are we gonna play like we want to win this championship?
yeah.
So
The linchpin is Embiid because that's the funny situation that the 76ers are in because they don't want to lose him.
right,
So they're thinking, I got to get something back in value that helps us compete for a championship. Because if not, Embiid might bounce on me. So that's the predicament they find themselves in. Because really, if Embiid was outside of the equation, oh man, I just get rid of him. Just give me some draft picks or something. You know what I mean?
right,
Because you're so correct. The heartache and the damage that this dude can do to your culture simply because and I understand it. I get it. There's some relationships, man, that cannot be mended. Okay? I
okay,
get it. However, man, you are part of a team. That's the sacrifice you make when you become part of a team. Sometimes you don't get everything you want. Sometimes those relationships just have to be worked through. And I think James is, man, he said it's like a marriage, Ken, it's over.
50-50. No, you stop.
he, that's where he said, look, it's over and I ain't paying nothing. I signed the prenup. I'm out of here, Joel. I'm out of here.
Man,
Man, that's just terrible, man. But Ken, on to a better story. And I'm gonna have to give you some props on this one because my rookie of the year, I I don't know if I can stick with Scoop. Man, I've been looking at Victor Wembanyama,
really?
and I'm telling you, man, Victor looks good. Now, the only reason why I'll change my prediction is because I felt like he wasn't going to play as much. I felt like
Okay.
they was going to load manage him and this, that, and the other thing. But man, he been getting at it, man. I don't have you seen him play?
I've seen him. You know But the thing about it, Mike, you got to be careful. And with preseason, you know,
Mm-hmm.
every, you ain't trying to, you're just trying to get your legs under you and trying to, work on whatever aspect of your game that you're looking to improve.
True.
Um, but for him, yeah, I think he's played well in the preseason. Um, they, I thought they were going to load managing too this year, but it doesn't seem that way so far. But we're in the preseason, so
Mm-hmm.
this is just a introductory. But I mean, for the most part, he's looked well as far as doesn't look like he's in a deer in headlights, and that to me for a rookie to come in and to play, let's just say this well as far as the preseason is concerned, is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I must admit, man, he's moving a lot better. He seems to have his legs under him. You know, the things I'm seeing this dude do at 7'4", man. I mean, that's the thing about it, right? That's the wow factor because the dude is 7'4",
Right.
and he's you know he's breaking you down, he's crossing you over, he's pulling up, he's passed look away passes at 7'4". I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like this dude right here. Like it's early, like you say, Ken, it's early, but I will say, um, I am very impressed with his defense is. I mean, what can you say? You're 7'4".
Right.
Okay.
So you
I
seven
mean,
four.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah. I might you can even when you 7'4", you can get shook, but he can chase you down
Right.
at
Exactly.
7'4". I
That
mean, he's got
that
that what a
length.
eight, yeah, he's got what a 8-foot wingspan or something like that.
Right.
So it's he is built to block shots, man.
Oh yeah.
And this dude is if he can stay healthy, put on some weight, keep working on his game, yeah, he will be special. He'll be special. But they're gonna lose a lot of games though.
Oh, I was just about, man. You read my mind. Yeah, they gonna lose some games. So hey, no question about that.
Hey, Victor, listen, you better get used to losing and watching the play in the playoffs, okay?
God,
for
definitely.
for a few years now, because y'all gonna be right back in that lotto spot. Come, come time to pick again, man. Because you ain't got no help. Like you say, Ken, it's the preseason, and once you start running up, and what conference they in, Ken?
Ooh, man, I think,
Nah,
nah,
man. You
that
you
ain't gonna
you
happen.
you
Mm-mm,
you
nah,
you got. Hey, they have a long way to come up, man. The
yeah,
Western
I swear.
Conference is stacked. It's stacked, and we're gonna be talking about the Pacific Conference here in a moment. But man,
Nah,
I'm very pleased. But Scoot is looking great, and he's still doing his thing. So I'm still with Scoot.
okay.
I'm still gonna hang with him.
So how
For now.
long? About 10 games?
No, because I'm like they giving Victor too much time.
Oh, they gonna give him a lot of time, man. This,
Man, he
and then the
averaging 20 some a game, Ken.
other thing, Mike, you gotta look at this international player.
Yeah.
Getting that reach,
Hmm.
outside the U.S. So yeah, they gonna give him
Yeah.
a lot of. They gonna Sports Center. Just y'all might just start rolling the
Yeah.
tape.
Yeah. About everything he do. He can sneeze and be on Sports Center.
Right.
You know what I
So
mean? Like, yeah, like everything he do, every move. That's all I saw videos of, things we've never seen before done. You know what I mean? I'm like, come on. I'm not ready to go that far, man. But he so far, he looks great. And I wish him much success, man, and looking forward to that rookie race because I think it's gonna be a tight one, man. And as a side note, Brandon Miller, from what they're saying, he's playing very, very well. What you say, it's a preseason,
right.
but he might the jury's still out for me on him. I know, Ken, you already count him among top 100 all time, but
Yeah.
uh
Nah, it's gonna be some growing pains for all of them. I don't think um, the three that we mentioned, as far as coming into the season, is going to play. Let's just say a role where they're going to make their team make get their teams to the playoffs. So,
Yeah, yeah,
it's just,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
get used to the game.
yeah.
Hopefully, their team will make some moves in the future, and they can be, and let's just say reach the playoffs and go farther than that.
hmm
So,
And I mean, Victor has the best chance because he doesn't, he's not really playing with a superstar.
right.
I mean, when you think about Chet Holmgren, he's playing with
Oh,
SGA.
man.
So I mean, Chet looked good too, man.
He
I
do.
mean,
Yeah, I saw
he
some of
looked
the
good.
game
Yeah, yeah,
when they played Milwaukee. So,
yeah. We
yeah,
don't
he
even
did
want to
look
talk
good.
about that, bro. We don't
You
even want
know,
to talk about that Milwaukee game, man. Like, you know, that's a whole nother show.
preseason.
But you know what? I see that's I've always been like this, Ken. I hate to lose anything. I don't care. It's preseason, before the season, scrimmage,
I get it.
1-on-1. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think he has the best chance because he's not banging with a superstar, and Holmgren, of course, SGA, and Brandon Miller. The only reason why I say he's got a tough because they don't get the attention.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, nobody's gonna be looking at Charlotte to see what they gonna do. So,
But that may
yeah,
help him, though.
well, he gonna have to come strong. I mean,
Yeah.
he gonna have to be 25, 7, 5. He a couple of steals. I mean, he's gonna have to do what Paulo did. See, Paulo
Yeah.
just said, you know what, y'all ain't looking at Orlando, but you're looking at me now. Okay,
Yeah. That's true.
but see, I don't
He
think he
on.
at
He
that
need that.
level yet, in my opinion. But man, let's talk about this specific Western uh
Division.
division, man.
Okay. Let's
Ken,
start. Let's start with Golden
woo,
State.
go ahead.
Man. So we know Curry, Thompson, Draymond. I always look at a big three for a team.
Okay.
They picked up, got rid. Let's just say they subtracted Jordan Poole, which I think is going
Mm-hmm.
to hurt them down that playoff time. Picked up Chris Paul. Chris is up, I'll say up in age. A
Yes.
veteran, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, from what I hear, Chris is going to come off the bench,
Mm.
and you bringing Chris Paul off the bench. So that's different for him. Uh, I think I would say I don't think he's, let's just say, enjoying that
Oh no.
move already.
No. Well, you heard
So
the press conference, Ken, when they asked him about that a month and a half ago, and he was like, he wasn't having any of
no,
that.
right,
You know what I mean? He
exactly.
was like,
Like, I'm Chris Paul, so
exactly.
that's what I think for me the wild card for Golden State is Kamunga.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Kaminga.
that
Mm-hmm.
he has to be more consistent as far as his play. But the thing about it, I just don't think as a whole, Golden State, they don't do well with big men as far as developing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, but
Yeah.
that to me is going to be the wild card for Golden State. How far they advance, do they get back to that place where they can, really compete for the championship? They all three of them are getting older.
Yeah.
Clay is also asking for, let's just say, extension, or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so that's gonna get interesting too. You know,
Clay's
so
gone. He's
you think
gone.
so?
Yeah, they can't pay him that money with the aging of both of them. I just don't think they can pay him the money that he wants. And so I think this is the last. I think Clay is gone. Just put it like that. I don't think they
Okay,
can pay him because if they pay him that money, then they are investing in their veteran players. They're not getting younger. And I
no,
think what Golden State needs to do, and I think what's part of Golden State's problem is this. Them boys have been together for so long. They have a group, and you don't get in that group. That was Poole's problem. Poole couldn't get in that group. And it is, man. Think about it. Man, Dre, Clay, and Steph, man, have been together for so many years. Man, you build a bond. I mean, these are brothers, right?
right,
And so the idea of relinquishing those responsibilities and how they're looked at and how important they are to the team. Because Draymond really his abilities have really went down over the years, right? He's just not as an effective player as he used to be. Clay is very limited, but that's still the driving force behind the Golden State Warriors. And I just don't think the way that they constructed that they can win a championship, Ken.
But I think I'll, how you see in the boxing match, you got let's just say a guy who's, let's just say he's 28-3,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a former champion, and
Mm-hmm.
he's going against the up and coming person. That's how I look at
Yeah.
Golden State. That
Yeah.
they it's going to be tough for them. And
Yeah.
then you we talked about their old, let's just say, getting older. Then injuries are going to play a factor. So and that's why I said that they have to get some scoring out of somebody else that can be consistent for them. Not among the big three, but somebody else.
Yeah, and I just don't know is there space for that. I think that's what happened to Poole. I just don't think they're going to let another dude come along that's going to average, that's not part of that group, average 20, 25 points a game. Kaminga is a dude.
Yeah,
He's
he
got,
is.
yeah,
Man,
he cold, man. But
that,
they won't, but they have to let him loose though. And they're not. So Kaminga comes in, all he doing is like playing this limited role where he's waiting on them. Like he's not the one. You notice he whenever they don't play or he's with the second unit, he gets busy, right?
okay.
He doesn't have that permission when they in there, right? He's just sitting there, man. And I think until they release that sort of you know
Lion.
yes, until they release that, then Golden State is just going to be a great team to watch. They will compete, but they won't win the big one. No, they won't. They won't win the big one, man. And so moving on, the Clippers.
Okay. We talked about them earlier in the show. Leonard, Westbrook, Paul George. I'm just going to mention the word load management.
Mm.
How is that going to work out for them? Especially for Leonard. I think Terrence Mann and Powell, they need to be, let's just say, in the mix. I put it that way. That's the bottom line for that. Will they get James Harden in a trade? What they're gonna give up to get him? I put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Also, should they make the trade? I wouldn't. I said this earlier, but I wouldn't do it. It's just too risky.
Mm-hmm.
But they do need, let's just say, Westbrook is, let's just say, on the downslope. What are you going to get out of him? You're going to get, I mean, as far as the player is concerned, you're going to get 100%, but he can't do the things that he used to do.
Correct.
Age, injuries, and things like that. You do need some more scoring on that team because, Leonard and George, they can't do it all. They're going to need some assistance from somebody.
No,
What's your thought?
yeah, I completely agree with you, man. The only appeal to a James Harden is what you just mentioned, scoring. Because Kawhi is gonna miss games. Paul George is gonna miss games. So you need some, you can't put it all on Paul and Terrence Mann and Westbrook to get it done, right? So you need another offensive juggernaut. And I would question whether James even has. I know James, he got games here and there where he can get 40 on you now.
Right.
But I don't know if it's consistent because of
Oh, no.
just, his age and how much he's put on his body. But I do think it's the Clippers to me, man. They can't stay healthy. They're exciting team to watch, man. Watching Paul George and watching Kawhi, go to work, man. It's a beautiful thing, but we just don't see enough of that.
Right.
And so I see them struggling again this year. I think, the Clippers to me seems to be a team that, that they had just that slight moment And when Kawhi got hurt, that moment was gone. Like they've let go of, when they had they had the Marcus, the twins there. They had
Right.
them there. They've had a lot of changeover, man.
A
And went
lot.
through a lot of players. Went through a lot of players. John Wall was there, right? John
Yeah.
Wall was there. They went through a lot of players, man. And I think their window was there, and they couldn't stay healthy, man. So I think they're going to be a very exciting team to watch, and they will compete. Nah, they don't have enough to win a championship, in my opinion.
No, I don't think so either. This, that low management thing is going to play a big part with the Clippers, but we'll see. Even let's just say hypothetically they do get James Harden.
Mm-hmm.
What is that going to give you? Do is that going to be enough to get you over the hump? I just don't think so.
No, it's not. No, it's not, man. And how do you play Harden and Russell? You tried that already, right? So
Right.
how does that work out, right? So the Los Angeles Lakers, Ken, your thoughts?
LeBron is going to have a difficult time this coming season, and the reason why I say that, I just don't think Anthony Davis is going to, let's just say, play a full season. And I say a full season for him would be 60 games. I don't think he's going to play that many games.
You don't think he's gonna play 60 games?
I don't think so. I
He
don't know
said he
what
want
it
to
is.
play all 82.
Okay, all right, okay. We can say something, but I just don't think that's going to happen because he just stays hurt.
Yeah.
Their wild card is D'Angelo Russell. Oh man, he just, for me, too inconsistent.
Yeah.
But the thing for them to move forward or try to compete for a championship, he got to be better than that. They picked up Gabe Vincent,
Christian
and
Wood.
yeah. So I mean, those are, I thought with the Vincent, picking him up was good. Give you some type of three point shooting, which they struggle with. They've been struggling with that for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
But I just don't see them. I just don't see them competing when it gets, let's just say, down and dirty for that Western Conference championship.
I think they're going to be a very exciting team to watch during the regular season. I think Anthony Davis, I agree with you. He has not shown us that he can stay healthy and play 60, 70 games. I mean, we talk about 60 games. That's if the threshold out of an 82 game season is that you miss 22 games. I mean, man, what are we even talking about here? I mean, when guys play 75, 80, you know what I'm saying? Like that was that was the thing. And now we're talking if guys can play 55, 60 games. And so D'Angelo Russell is a great regular season player. Come to playoffs, man, I don't know what happened to D-Lo. I mean, I'm just like last year, I was like, man, what is
he doing?
He can't buy a basket, man. And the thing about it is, man, I love his game. He's smooth. He a smooth lefty like you can. I love his game. Now, on the other hand, he don't play no defense.
Oh no.
And to me, that to me in the playoffs, that's the killer, man, because teams are going to put him in positions where they can abuse his lack of defense.
Pick and roll,
man. Who is he going to hold? He can't keep up with Murray. He can't roll on Yo. So he to me his liabilities outweigh his assets when it comes to the playoffs. Now you need others around you that can compensate for that. I just don't think they have the right personnel to make the defensive possessions in the crunch times of the game where they can really make things happen. So again, I think is another great team to watch. Always like watching the King play, but I don't see them as people, predicting them that they can possibly come out of the West. I still think it's Denver and it's Phoenix.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Seeing that you said Phoenix, let's go into Phoenix. Oh man, Bradley Beal, big trade. Forced his way out of Washington. Uh, he averaged what 23, 25 a game, about 7 assists, maybe about 2 or 3 rebounds a game. So I mean, great player. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Coming off some injuries, um, but I think that he will truly be an asset for Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Durant, he gonna do his thing. You know, my whole thing about Durant is, can he stay injury free? That's gonna be the question for him. Um, Booker, he Book gonna do Book. So my big question for them is that the depth, that bench. You know, when Durant, Booker, maybe Bill, when they go out, who's gonna score? I just um, they picked up Grayson Allen for some outside shooting,
Mm-hmm.
but defensive wise, we already talked about this. That
We
it
know
ain't gonna
we
be
know.
right.
Okay.
So we don't even have to talk about. But the thing about the Suns is it going to be their depth? How are they going to I'm gonna say it manufacture points
Mm-hmm.
from the bench?
Yeah.
So that's their big question mark.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, can all three of them play together? That's going to be the other thing, which I think they can. For the most part.
Yeah. I think they can. I see. They need time because those are three dudes and really two dudes in Bradley Beal and D Book that play the same way.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like D Book may post up a little bit more, but they're both trying to get to that, you know, they shoot threes, but they're trying to get to that, that 10-footer, that 12-footer. I mean, that's how they operate, or they trying to get right to the basket. And what does that do? That just clogs the middle. There's no spacing. So see, I think they're going to have problems when all three of them are in the game together with spacing, right?
Okay.
None of them are, except for Book. Book can't sit in the corner. He can set shoot up in the corner, but Bradley Beal is he's a slicer. He's a cutter. He's he gonna shake and bake. He gonna and that's going to cause problems with spacing. And also, Ken, to your point, where no depth, that means what? They have to play a lot of minutes.
A lot. Right.
Okay, especially when the playoffs come. And we know, we're not talking about spring chickens on on none of them, man. And they
Right.
do have a history of injuries, and we knock on wood because we don't want to see anything
Right.
like that happen. However, they're going to have to play heavy minutes in order to beat somebody like a Denver. Okay. Even in LA, or even we're gonna talk about the Kings here in a minute, but they're gonna have to play some heavy minutes because, like you say, they can't just go sit down and bring in a second unit like a Milwaukee. You see what I'm saying? That can go and get you points. That's got a 6 man of the year on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
They don't have that, man. So where are those points gonna come by? But Ken, one thing before we end the specific, man, is that the best division in the
Oh.
NBA?
Oh. Yes. Oh man, from top to bottom.
Man,
So
that
man, when teams make that West Coast swing, oh, you better get ready to play.
man, you
So
better get
from
ready.
top to bottom, I mean, you don't get a night off,
No, there is no easy game in that division, man. So the last up is the Sacramento Kings.
man. Man, let me say this. I was kind of heartbroken when they
Mm.
lost to Golden State. I'm like, man, come on. And
Yeah.
they had opportunity after opportunity to win that series. But I like Sacramento, man. They're young, they're gonna make some mistakes, but they're gonna play like there's no, you know, no next game. And that's what I like about them. Fox is that's a bad boy,
Yeah,
man.
he is. Yeah, he is.
Man, he's so smooth. And I'm just like, man, this is like effort,
Hey,
you know.
bucket getter.
Right.
You know what I
Um,
mean?
I think to me, who's gonna have a big season coming up is Malik Monk. I think
Mm.
got his got his confidence back. In the playoffs, man had played a good series. I put it that way. Had a good
Yeah.
series. My my just my issue with them is that you know it's a bonus. I mean, it was some games that he played well in. Some games he just looked terrible. I'm like, come on, man, what are you doing? But it's a learning experience, and
Mm-hmm.
um, to me, that wild card is two things. Harrison Barnes, number one,
Mm. Mm.
older player. I think he's like
Mm-hmm.
31, 32.
Mm-hmm.
Did not have a good series last year.
Yeah.
Didn't
Yeah.
shoot. He didn't shoot well. I mean, he couldn't buy a basket,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the other side, Keegan Murray, man, that that young man came out and said, "Hey, give me the ball."
No doubt.
So
Yeah.
Barnes, I think they re-signed him
Mm-hmm.
for,
They did.
and I didn't understand that. And the other thing I'll say about Sacramento is that they didn't do anything on off season as far as any free agents or trades to make that team better. Because top to bottom, we just said this division is probably the toughest. So what you gonna do to improve so you can get to that top?
Yeah. Big mistake. You know what I mean?
Right,
Big mistake, man. Other teams made moves right around you, and
right,
it's like you in a neighborhood, Ken, and everybody fixing up their house, and you just sitting there looking. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. Then everybody's house is up for sale, and you can't even compete.
right.
No, no, you needed to upgrade, and they didn't. But I think Sacramento, for me, Ken, is you hit the optimal word was they're just young. And what happened in that series with Golden State was just the maturity, just the experience. I've been there. They have to learn how to win close, big games. And that's only going to come by losing close, big games, right? And you talk
Yeah.
about that experience, right? They've gotten some experience. So to me, they're still solid. They just didn't take a leap that could have put them at the top of that division. That's all. They're still solid. I mean, if you
Oh,
teams like Sacramento, OKC, Orlando, even Houston, now Portland, teams like that to me, Ken, is you look at the schedule and you should have a W for that. But if you go in there like we got this, you leaving with an L. Okay.
okay.
Those teams are not going because Ken, they don't nobody's saying they're gonna win the championship. So they go out, they just ball,
Right.
man. They just go out and just like what happened to the Milwaukee. You cannot
Yeah.
come in. Ken, we talked about this. I've seen team after team come into OKC like, yeah, we
Mm,
got this. This is a W, and leaving with your head tucked between your legs. Okay. They not gonna have that, man. These boys are going to play until the final buzzer, and they're gonna play hard.
right.
Um, so man, I just, I think they're going to be up there. They're a great team. Um, I mean, last year they were talking about Fox for MVP. I
Yeah.
mean, he has some,
Exactly.
and I think that same conversation is going to be happening this year
Oh,
because, like,
definitely.
you pick your poison. He gonna shoot the three. He gonna break you down another left hand assassin. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he's like Brunson. In the paint, these dudes are SGA. Like
Yeah.
these dudes that you don't think, man, like how is this guy like scoring like this, man, in the paint? But they're so crafty. The footwork, man, the ability to maneuver around you. They're musicians, man. And I throw Kyrie in that same category, man. Them
Oh,
guys just
definitely.
know how to get a bucket. Like some dudes they know how to get a bucket, man.
And Fox is one of them. Well, let
He's
me
one
ask you
of
this question. So who wins the division?
Oh man. Okay. That's a tough one, but I'm gonna say, man, I'm gonna say Phoenix.
I agree.
It's as much as in the back of my mind can I go like, but what about those injuries? I still say if they can stay healthy, Phoenix is gonna win that division.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think you know, if they can find a way to, like I said, to manufacture some points out of that bench, stay healthy, and not play so many minutes, I think they win the division and move on. So
The start of the season is 6 days away.
you counting, huh?
Man, listen, I've been excited for the season before, but man, I tell you, this year, because there's so many good teams that can win the championship, that this year is going to be a battle. I'm not too happy about the play-in tournament. I don't know how I feel about that.
Why you
That's
say
something
that?
that we could. Well, I don't know how it's gonna work. I don't know
Oh,
how it's
okay.
gonna look. I don't know what it's gonna be like when a team wins it. Are we gonna be like, oh, that's great or whatever? Let's keep moving. You know what I mean? So I don't know what. I just don't know how I'm gonna feel about the winner of the in season tournament. I should say.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. So I don't. You know what I mean? So there's some new things happening this year in the NBA. Oh, and in closing, Ken, before we get out of here because we have to talk about the WNBA, the Aces in the Liberty.
Okay.
Man, was that a good game
It was a
or
good
what?
game, and it was a low scoring game. It was a battle. I don't think either team shot that well from the field, but all said and done, Wilson, she was just making it happen. Um, I'll say this about them, back to back, that hasn't been done in what 21 years. Got to give them
21
credit.
years.
Yeah, got to give them credit. That post game, uh, let's just say interview, that was a little something to be endured. I'll put it that way. But they was excited to win, back to back, even though they
Mm-hmm.
had let's just say, they put that team together. So let's not
Yeah.
make it seem like it was a bunch of people they picked off the street. But I'm happy for them.
Mm-hmm.
Becky Hammond, she did a great job as far as coaching is concerned. I mean, you got a lot
Yeah.
of superstars. And matter of fact, um, two of the stars got injured, so
Oh yeah. Oh
you,
yeah.
you got to give her a lot of credit for that. Keeping that team,
I
keeping the
mean,
team together.
they
So
won without the maestro, man. Gray. Okay.
right,
Chelsea Gray. She out there just dropping dimes, man. I'm like, yeah, no, yeah. she she out there balling, man,
right,
and to do it without her. And I don't forget who the other starter was, but like you
and
said,
then
two starters down
then you got to think about Candace Parker
wasn't there.
wasn't
Yeah,
there either. So
yeah. It was an exciting game, like you say. It was defensive game. Liberty played very well.
yeah,
Breanna Stewart. She didn't shoot the ball well,
yeah,
pretty much the whole
series.
playoffs. But man, she had a lot of these players have to learn how to deal with the added attention they get in those moments. And she was getting double blitz, this, then the other
Oh
thing.
yeah,
And if
man,
that's so I'm not mad at her. Her teammates played well. She was more of a decoy at sometimes, with the double teams and so
right.
forth. But they were right there in the game. But it's just, there can only be one. And the Aces,
Man.
hey, they hit that last spade on them. Said, yes, sir. They pulled out that last spade on him and say,
Like,
look,
here, it's
that's
time to
it.
go home.
It's time to go home. So yeah, man, I'm excited for the game, man, and hopefully
Yeah.
it'll bring more attention, to what they're doing, man. But again, the start of the season is right around the corner, and I'm very excited to see that take place, Ken. And as we always say, the world of sports unites us. Let us take this unity in our everyday life. This is why they play the game.